Today we have a very special review. I've compiled together a total of 9 different portable-ish DACs that I have at my disposal here, all in one place at one time. A very cool opportunity. I thought I would give you guys my thoughts. The good thing about these DACs is, for the most part, they follow their price point in terms of quality. So a lot of the cheaper DACs are very good for the price, and as you go up, features kind of differ, but for the most part, the quality increases proportional to the cost incurred. Now, it's not a straight curve, obviously. Something that costs 2 times more is not usually 2 times better, but it is better than something that costs less than it. So that's a pretty nice feature about these particular DACs that I have together here for you. I'm going to take you guys through these DACs. They're actually set up, the cheapest ones on the left to the most expensive on the right, and I'm going to give you a quick rundown of each one. The first DAC I want to tell you guys about is down here on the left. It's called the Calyx Coffee. This DAC runs around $250. It features a lot of different controls on the top part. It has a headphone output as well as your standard RCA analogs. This other side is just supplied via the power of this USB. It acts as a computer DAC for the most part. The sound I found pretty good. I really enjoyed it. I think that you're going to get the best out of this through the analog. The headphone out is okay for the size, but it's not quite enough to power really big headphones, as you can imagine. It's a pretty standard volume DAC that works well for in-ear monitors. This DAC is cigar-shaped. It's the DAC Port LX by Centron. It's also supplied for portable device through computers through this USB. The power is supplied there, and it goes up to 2496. Very good DAC, also $250. Just the single output on this one. You cannot plug headphones into this, so there's no headphone amplifier. I found the sound of this one to be very good, very smooth in the mids, and decent for the price, $250. This is the Arcam rPAC. So basically the same kind of setup as the Calyx Coffee, except that it has just a volume supply on the top. There is a headphone output. The back contains the same type of powered supply through the USB and an analog output. This does not have a battery in it as well. None of these ones I've shown so far are supplied by a battery, so all the power needs to come through the USB. I found this DAC to be quite good. All 3 of these previous ones kind of are in the same league as far as sound quality is concerned. However, I did find the headphone jack on this to be less than ideal. It will definitely suffice for in-ears, but once again, not something that you can really kick butt with big headphones and look for a really big headphone sound, unfortunately. So this one is $250 as well. This one here has quite a bit of hype around it. It is the AudioQuest DragonFly. It's the smallest one of the group. It lands in around $250. You can see here that it is simply the size of a USB stick. I've done a full review on this in the past. I really enjoy this one. I do think that the output line quality that you plug into here is just a hair above the rest of these groupings. The other DACs in this category don't quite have the lifelike recreation that this one does. It's very unique in that this little Dragonfly lights up in different colors based upon what kind of signal you're feeding it, so you kind of get an idea of what you're actually listening to as far as bit rates and resolution quality is concerned. The headphone jack also is a line out for the device, and I found that to be pretty good too, on equal par with the quality. So not something you can drive. I mean, this will drive full-size headphones, but still, I think for best results, an external headphone amplifier, but it will act pretty good for $250 to even your line-out stereo. As we move up the scale now, we're going to go to a bigger price jump, but I'm glad to say with this next one, we also see the same kind of bump up in quality, which is great. This one is called the Apex Glacier. It's a relatively new one. from Todd the Vinyl Junkie. TTVJ is his name, and he has done something quite different. As you can see with this, it runs around $500. It is quite a bit sleeker and smaller. This does actually contain an internal battery for you to use, so it will go ahead and tap right into anything portable. You can take this with you whenever you want. You can see that there is a bit of a deviation from the other controls, but this one has a very cool light that lets you know what's going on with the volume like that. I don't know if you can see that, but it is pretty cool. A little bit different than a lot of the other ones. Push on, push off. The back features a mini USB jack, one for charging and one for the DAC, so you know exactly what you're getting out of each one. There's also a gain switch back there, and then an input for analog line-ins. This has a 2496 DAC built in that I thought was really good. The quality is outstanding for this. In-ear monitor listening, right up there with a lot of the other big guys. I really enjoyed this one. It does have enough juice to power a pair of LCD 3s through the internal DAC. It was pretty good juice on this one compared to the other guys in this category. I mean, the gain is just kind of up there from the rest. Great sound quality. Definitely a bump up in DAC and amplifier quality than this group here. So this is 250. This is where 500 starts. The next one I have here is the Pan M by ALO Audio. Now, as you can see, this one is not really extremely portable. It started out at 600, but I believe it's at 500 right now at the website. But this, I would like to say this is an external power supply, which does add to the sound quality in my opinion, but it also costs another $200 more. So bare bones 500, but realistically more like 700 or 800 by the time you're done with it if you really want to get the best out of it. You can see that it actually incorporates tube in the input stage, but the output stage is still op amp. But that in fact gives this thing a pretty good sonic signature with amazing power. There's a high-low gain here, and on high, it will definitely push a pair of LCD 3s to whatever level you desire. So it's pretty good. As a headphone amplifier, this thing is outstanding. Now, the DAC is fairly good to very good, I would say. For the price point, the amplifier really can't be beat, in my opinion. With the tube stage added in there, this thing sounds very, very sweet. One thing that I have noticed over time, however, is that vocal presentations tend to be a little forward. So if that is your bag, then this is definitely the amp for you. If it's not your bag, then maybe another one will be just as good. But I found the vocals to be just a touch forward. But all of the other rendering, especially the bass texture, very, very nice, very, very warm. As you move up the chain, this thing has a couple more inputs and outputs. Obviously, we have both type of headphones jacks here, but on the back you can see we start to have more of like a regular headphone amp kind of setup. This is for the DAC. It is powered through this and powered through this. This is the battery supply. The USB DAC here, then the small input, and then regular RCAs, all selected by this rotating switch here. So it's starting to get a little bit more features. You might find, just for like as far as straight headphone amp features. But it is portable. I mean, this is all you need to go connect to a computer and you're ready. So for a home office setup, this one is actually really nice because it's got a lot of features that kind of just work in a little compact pack. However, unlike this, you can't really strap it to a phone per se. This one will accept output through a line-out jack into the back of this from your Apple device, and you can just strap it right to it, maybe strap it to your phone. This one obviously can't do that as well. So this is just a little bit more portable obviously in this one, but the sound's a little bit sweeter on this, so it's kind of a trade-off. This one we have next is the Emmaline Intruder from Ray Samuels Audio. Ray's done a really good job with this one. It's very unique in the fact that it has balanced inputs and outputs. Balanced inputs and outputs here by a 4-pin jack. As you can see, the actual channels are completely separate. You have separate selectors for the input USB to the line in here, single-ended or balanced. There's the USB connection. And then you can do the 4-pin out to a balanced headphone. That's pretty unique. Not any of these other guys really do balanced connections, and this is rare to say the least. You can actually partner this up with the Algorithm's Solo DB here, and you're starting to get, you know, kind of more like a high-end stereo setup with balanced and unbalanced connections. I found the juice from this very powerful now, especially through balance mode. There's like more juice than I think almost, you know, not more juice than any headphone could handle, but it's big, it's loud. One of the loudest amps probably on here when it's in the balance mode. With the single-ended mode, still great power. There's a 3-switch selector here. So this thing, for versatility, if you like in-ear monitors, the lowest one is right perfect in the area for in-ear monitors. That being, this is sound soft, and as you turn it up, this is about halfway, and it goes all the way here. So what I'm saying is, instead of having just a tiny little swing with a lot of the other amps for in-ear monitors, where it goes from very quiet to very loud and just a small turn, this one actually gives you a perfect kind of sweep from low to high across the knob. When you're listening to in-ear monitors, that just happens to, you know, it's just so nice to kind of have that versatility. It's just a very smooth transition in volume as you go up. So this one, pretty unique. This DAC, however, tops out at 1648, so it does not do the high-res file transfer from the DAC. But that being said, balanced input, you can line it with another DAC, and you're going to get some pretty sweet sound, especially through the balanced connections. That's bringing me to this here, the Cipher Labs Algorithm Solo DB. This is an exclusive DAC, also battery powered. This is battery powered as well. It runs for around $700 as well, but this is just for the DAC section, obviously. But then again, one of the best sounds from a DAC as well. It really shines in that department. This one, as I had said before, includes the balanced output. So that is very rare too for a portable device. They used to have one called the Algorithm Solo, and it didn't have the DB, and it did not have this output as well. This one also now plugs into your computer, and I found the sound from the computer to be exceptionally great. Very, very good stuff, as I said before. Balanced output, coaxial output as well. In case you want to run this from your computer into here via USB, then you can run this out to your favorite DAC somewhere else. The USB input here, solid switches, very cool. The next DAC I have here, it's a little bit of a departure. I would not consider the CEtrance Dacmini that I have here to be by any means considered portable. It's in the shape of a Mac Mini, so you could rest one essentially right on top of here. But I did want to bring it up as it is in the CEtrance DAC family. So, you know, this one has a lot more features. With this right here, it rotates between inputs. If I turn this around, you can see that has quite a bit more inputs. This is more of like a stereo-oriented device as well as a headphone device. Optical in, coaxial in, analog in if you want to just run headphones in from some other source so you can access just the headphone amplifier. And USB connectivity. It does do the high res up to 96, not the full, but 96 via this port. And it is very nice as well. It's very smooth and does a great job just as a DAC. The headphone is powerful. You can actually soup up this model on the website if you want to make it even more powerful with more gain on there. Not the best for in-ear monitors. The gain's a little high, like I said, but for full headphones, you can definitely rock and roll with that unit as well. As far as connectivity to Apple devices and Android, I did find that this device, the Apex Glacier, and the Intruder by RSA Audio, did connect to my Galaxy 3 phone, which is pretty cool because then you can just slap this on in like a sandwich and go. This one is one of the few ones that actually does it with an Apple device. It is it connects directly to an Apple device and decodes it internally. The rest of these, for the most part, you can access it through a line-out cable, but the internal DAC of the iPod or iDevice needs to do the decoding. This one does it in-house, inside this thing, which is a really nice feature, and it is a slight upgrade in a lot of cases to the sound. But Android devices, I mean, we don't want to let those guys feel left out, but these two do have that capability. This one, however, does not do the Galaxy 3 Android devices. This one does Apple devices like the iPad through the iPad camera connection kit. So I don't want to leave that out. That definitely works. So a lot of these other ones, they can't go through the phone because they require power from the device, and that unfortunately negates them as being compatible with an iDevice. So that's the rundown. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's a pretty good swath of what's available right now. And I gotta tell you, this is a really good time to be into portable audio and just DACs in general, because this is evolving constantly, what we see here. And new products are coming out, and new technologies are coming out, and everything's changing really quickly. So it's a good time to be into this kind of hobby if you enjoy it. Let me know if you guys have any questions in the comment section of the YouTube video, and please feel free to subscribe to the channel if you like this kind of stuff. Have a good one, guys. Take care.